Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another FPL deadline stream on the YouTube channel that is FPL Expectations. I'm glad that you are here. We're happy that you can join us. My name is Nick, also known as at FPL Nitro on Twitter, and today we're doing a Game Week 3 team reveal. And joined with me today, I have the privilege of being able to talk to a very familiar face on this channel. We have FPL Joe, who I will be bringing up onto the stream right now. Hello, Joe. Welcome. Familiar face, same thing all the time. How are you? Tell us, how are you doing?
Good. Doing pretty well. Personally, still, still grinding through, still working. But as I mentioned before, FPL is such a welcome distraction for most of us. Even more. Personally, I feel it's a really welcome distraction, and I'm glad to be back in this show. Always a pleasure, and yeah, let's do this.
Yes, I'm absolutely glad to be here. I know a lot of the people watching right now are just as glad that you are back as well. And we were talking a little bit off stream a little bit earlier. I know at least, and a couple of others know that you've made some interesting moves. And so we're going to kind of dive right into that right now if you are ready with the your team reveal for Game Week 3. So this is your last week. We did pretty well, to be fair. 75 points.
Yeah. To me, I was pretty beat up. Towards the last game. Yeah, I think my rank probably almost tripled before the West Ham and Leicester game. So I was like, here we go again and things like that. And then after that, I never. I sort of expected goals between Leicester and West Ham, but I never expect it to be so one-sided. Glad I brought in these two legends. let me just magnify these two legends here.
Bentonio, as FPL Wang calls him.
I don't know. Is it luck or what? But having them since Game Week 1 has been such a revelation. Both players returned double digits at both games. Massive, if I'm not mistaken, it's a massive 53 points. 53 points out of almost, I would say, 200 points.
Yeah.
So that's more than 25% of my current points, but only with two players. So massive. I think whoever brought them in Game Week 1, since Game Week 1, having a good time. Also, these two.
Oh yeah,
legends.
defensive double.
Yeah, oh my gosh, who would expect? Of all players in the whole FPL, Tsimikas 4.0. Just these two games, he already stamped himself as an FPL legend. That's more than what you could hope for any 4.0 in any season. So sad that he has to leave us. But we wish him all the best, and we hope to see him soon in FPL again. And I think
it was like a nice farewell gift, though. Very nice farewell gift.
Yeah. His cross was exquisite, and Jota, just hand it on a plate for him. So overall, 75 points. No complaints. Current rank, it was a red arrow, but it was a small one. Current rank at 167k. So we move.
Yeah, we move, of course, in true FPL fashion, and it's good to see people in the chat. Very good to see you guys. Moving on, so tell us and show us your moves, the team that you've got set currently for Game Week 3.
So this is my Game Week 3 team. Basically, I think most of us banked our free transfer on Game Week 2, and we have 2 transfers in Game Week 3. So it depends on what you want to do with these 2 transfers. There's so many possibilities. there is one route where you can go, because Simicas, as I mentioned, most probably is dropped to the bench with Robo already training, I think, for 1 week, and he's ready to go. So I think there are two schools in FPL Twitter at least, which I can see. One is the play safe or the use one FT school, which is to replace Simicas.
That's me.
Yeah. Replace Simicas with another exciting prospect, which is Livramento. I watched him play last week. He makes really good runs. Defensively, he's solid as well. Attacking, he even had one chance where he ballooned that shot, but at least he is daring, or he's bold enough to take those shots. And who knows?
The fact that he's in the area is very exciting, right?
Yeah, the fact that he's in that area, the fact that he has a chance, and yes, it's a long way from goal, but it's sort of like an open space, and who knows? One day he might get it right, and he will get a thunderbolt goal, which I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, to be honest. So, and Southampton fixtures a bit mixed bag. They are not really defensively solid at the moment, but I don't know. You can't ask more from a 4.0 if you brought him in earlier, but now unfortunately he has risen up to 4.1. But still, I think really good value for a player that starts. If you're worried whether Walker Peters will come in, I probably can't see that happening in the moment. Livramento will probably be given breaks here and there, but I think Southampton paid good money for him to play. Even last week, he played total of 90 minutes. Even when Kyle Walker Peters subbed in, he was playing at the left back instead of his usual right. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think Kyle Walker Peters can play both flanks. So I can see Livramento at least 2 to 3 game weeks of starts. But then, who knows? Because he's still young, so maybe Ralph Hasenhuttl will probably give him a rest here and there. But yeah, I think good value, definitely great value if you decide to bring him in. At least he should start. So that's one transfer you could consider to make if you're not sure what to do. For me, that was my initial thought. That was my initial move to make, because firstly, we sort of had like a bit of an uncertainty with the international breaks, especially players that are involved in playing in so-called this red listed countries red listed by the UK. So basically, the background story is like this: if you come back to UK from a red listed country, you have to quarantine 10 days. 10 days in the hotel. You can't
If it's a red list, I think it's longer, a little bit longer.
14 days, is it?
It might be 14 days. 10 days is amber.
Oh, okay. So basically, for football players of such high fitness to be quarantined in a hotel, can't do much, just eat, sleep. They will lose out their muscle, they will lose out their fitness, practically immediately. So basically, what happens is that the Premier League teams got together and make a stand, saying that we will not allow our players to leave to play in red listed countries. So they took that stand, and I think Liverpool, especially Liverpool, I think they have Firmino, Salah,
Fabinho too.
Fabinho and Alisson. So basically, they are not allowed to play for Brazil, which is a bit sad. But I guess clubs will definitely want to protect their assets. And who knows? COVID is still wrecking many countries in the world. They might be even bigger consequences. So Alisson revealed in an interview that he's not going to play for Brazil. He honors the club's decision. So and I will expect players like Salah, for Egypt will probably not go as well. So and then after that, after knowing this, I felt more relief, less uncertainty, so to speak, which is why I decided, I'm just going to throw in the dice, use both my free transfers to bring in Kane. Kane is a player that I sort of regret last season not bringing him in early in game week, I think 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Me too.
I had Son, but I didn't double up, or I didn't get Kane especially. I was quite stubborn to bring in Kane until my wildcard. So this season, I felt, Kane just scored 2 goals in the midweek, in the cup game, and then now he's playing at home in front of a full Spurs fan, full capacity Spurs stadium,
Right.
which I would feel that this will be his opportunity, so to speak, to redeem his fans, by scoring. What other better way to redeem your fans by scoring? So
Exactly.
which is why I felt, currently he's only 8.4% owned. Anything below 10% for me is like ultra differential. My team for the first 2 game weeks, if I look, when I look at livefpl.net, it's about 89 to 90% template. So time to do something about that, I think. And what other better way to do it with Kane? I don't think he will be this low anymore after this game week, if you ask me, to be honest. So I'm going for it. So what I did was I actually sold Bruno right before Ronaldo even,
The announcement.
not even the announcement. Right before Fabrizio mentioned, that
Wow.
it's gonna happen. Because basically it was between selling Bruno or Salah. For me, I wouldn't want to. I initially I was quite set on selling Salah for someone like Greenwood, so I would end up having Bruno and Greenwood against Wolves. But I felt, Salah after his Chelsea match, especially, we get like who do we get?
Leeds and Norwich. Not
Leeds,
Norwich. Sorry.
Leeds, Palace, and Brentford.
Right.
This, I think, I cannot pass it up. These are probably one of the better fixtures for Liverpool. So by comparing fixtures, I decided to keep Salah instead of Bruno, because I think if you watch last game against Southampton, Bruno was a bit underwhelming, if you ask me. He didn't have much chances, and he got himself a yellow card. Whereas Salah actually had a really close, a close goal being ruled out for offside.
Ruled out, yeah.
Yeah. So I would probably, which is why I prefer to keep a Salah. And after that, I look at instead of moving to Greenwood, I look at Rafinha. I think Greenwood, if you still have, to anyone watching, I think if you still have Greenwood, he's still a really good pick. He's not in the England squad, so he's safe. Should be safe for game week 4 at least. But now the thing is, with Ronaldo coming in, spanner in the works, nobody's going to know what's going to happen. Which is why, when I heard Ronaldo is going to United, I was like, phew, I probably did the right decision. I don't know. I mean, who knows whether Bruno will get better points or lesser? I don't know. But if you ask me, I might lean on Bruno being pushed back into a supporting role to support Ronaldo, as how he did during the in the Portuguese team. In the
The
Portuguese team,
Euros.
yeah, if you play the Euro fantasy, nobody picks Bruno. I mean, I did pick Bruno on day one, which I regret. I regret. It was between Ronaldo or Bruno, and I went for Bruno.
Oh
And,
no.
and he was so quiet throughout the group stages, barely did anything. Will this happen again in FPL? I don't know.
Don't know.
But yeah, but if you ask me, I would think Ronaldo goes to United to score goals, to enjoy playing
Right.
football again. Um, for the fans definitely, but I would say I can't imagine any other people getting the penalty duty other than Ronaldo, if you ask me. Unless
So would
Ronaldo
you
is not.
say? So would you say you have Kane right now? Kane is
Yes.
very expensive.
Yeah.
Is a quick swap to Ronaldo in your plans at all? Because you've brought in Kane, but he's probably going to be a long term, right? Tell me more
Uh,
about that.
okay. Wait. Basically, why I bring in Kane is because I'm setting myself up to have more options at the forward line, because from only Kane being the most premium striker in FPL, we suddenly now have players like Lukaku
Right.
and Ronaldo. That's
Too,
insane.
too many options, premium forward options.
Yeah, too many. So I don't know. Um, Having Kane right now sets me up to go either Lukaku or Ronaldo, whichever I fancy, But
Right, right.
just a hint, most probably I'll go for Ronaldo on game week 4. I even have 1.7 million in the bank. just,
You are
just,
safe. You are
just,
safe.
yeah, just in case Ronaldo suddenly reviews as a 13.5 million asset. But if you
Do you
ask
think he
me,
would be 13.5?
to be honest, I think 13.5 is a bit too much. If you ask me, I think the most is 13, but I can
Yeah.
probably see him as 12.5.
I can see him as a. Actually, I was thinking he could be 12 for some reason. It would
Maybe
be the
because
cheaper
yeah,
side.
because anyhow you see it, Ronaldo is still sort of like a outside player coming to the Premier League.
Right.
Usually how the FPL towers price players from the outside is a bit lower,
Mhm.
which is why we get Lukaku at 11.5 instead of 12 or 12.5 to match Kane. Um, I think I think I think it depends. If they want to attract more players, more managers bringing in players from the outside, they will probably price that particular player a bit lower than
Exactly.
whoever is in the league. So I can see probably 12, 13 is the most, but I can probably see it. Look, I can see at 12.5 if you ask me. So two moves I made. I did Bruno to Rafinha because if you have a look at Rafinha's fixtures, they are so tasty. They're playing against Burnley.
They have a
Uh,
really good run.
yeah, they play against Burnley. Burnley, I think they are still playing like they did the end of last season. Midfield is really, really wide open, especially when they attack. Um, Liverpool, don't let those two clean sheets fool you. It was practically Allison saving their asses both games, if you ask me. If,
Yeah.
if you actually watch those games, both games, Allison pulled out such a massive save to keep that clean sheet. So I'm not surprised if Leeds could get one goal or two, I don't know, against Liverpool at home. You know,
Right. At home
at
as well.
home, yeah, at Ellen Road. So after
Yeah.
that, they're playing Newcastle, West Ham, Watford, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. Such a good run. So
Very good run.
at his price at what 6.5, no brainer. Like even Bamford reduce his in price as well from 8.0 to 7.9. So he's another player that you can consider bringing in instead of players like DCL. DCL is currently have slight injury dot because of his recurring toe injury. So he's at the moment he's flagged at 75%. So Benitez also mentioned in the Everton website that he is a dog. So who knows? DCL might not be the option that we would love to have him in game week 4. So you have definitely other options like Bamford.
Talk me through your. I know the only moves you make were Kane and Rafinha. Talk us through the midfield and attack a little bit. So, what are you expecting, and what are you, kind of hoping for to come out of your midfield and attack?
Yeah. To be honest, Barnes, I suck it up. Take that 0.1 price drop, just because he's facing Norwich. I'm just being totally honest here. If it's not because of Norwich, I'll probably ditch him.
You would have gone, yeah.
Yeah, because next game he's playing against City. I don't know. It really depends on how Rodgers is going to play, set up his team without Perez. So Barnes, I think he should still feature. He should still start, but whether will he get any return, I don't know. Personally, I hope he repays that faith. I think Rafinha, we have talked about. Salah, if you ask me whether he will get a return, I think Chelsea is really solid. Especially the end of last season and this season. So the last time Salah faced Chelsea, I think away,
he got a goal, right?
Yeah, he got that wonder goal. No, he's playing at home. Although he get that wonder goal, I don't know. This is a totally different Chelsea we are talking about.
Yeah.
So I think he might still get those chances, but will he put it away? To me, any return from Salah this week is a bonus.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, to be honest. Because honestly speaking, we are keeping him not for the fixtures after.
Yeah, that's true. I'm the same boat as well.
Yeah. I got told Leicester City winger Harvey Barnes did not travel to King Power Stadium today. Of course, he's not playing in the King Power.
Nice.
So Ben Rama, yes, really exciting, playing at home against Crystal Palace. But if you ask me, I might make a bold statement here. I think, gut feel, I think Ben Rama will blank this week. I think if you look at his stats, for the first 2 games, yes, he returned both double digits. But the first game, if you look at the XGs and the XAs, it's pretty underwhelming. The second game was a bit skewed because of the red card, and they were practically dominating Leicester after that red card. I don't know, playing at home against Palace might not be as, I don't know, the second game, I think they played against Brentford, they were pretty okay. If you ask me. Ben Rama, will he keep returning week after 3 weeks in a row? Not so confident, if you ask me. So anything from Ben Rama, I think if he gets, I think at most he'll get probably 1 return, but probably not another double digit, if you ask me.
I think anything from him too is a bonus. I think because I agree. I think we're more likely expecting more from Antonio, which is why you've got vice captain on him. I do see. Yeah,
because Antonio, his stats are actually looks pretty sustainable, if you ask me.
Yeah.
In terms of XGs, and if you see the way he played, I think he also mentioned in an interview that he realized that he's not that young anymore, and that he realized that his hamstring is giving him problems in the past, and he's currently correcting his diet.
I saw that too. It's good to hear.
He's going through a diet and a strict, probably a fitness regime that will keep him performing at the highest level for as long as possible. So it's good to hear as an Antonio owner.
Yes.
And with his stats and the way he plays, I think he's pretty sustainable.
He has really outrageous XG. I think right now it's a 1.75. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere that his current XG this season is higher than 12 Premier League clubs.
Hey, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Antonio is definitely a kid for me. But do note that he is playing for Jamaica during the international break. So it's definitely something we have to keep an eye on.
Yeah. How is thoughts on Tony? Because Tony has blanked 2 game weeks in a row. He's also one of the most top transferred out players prior to the GameWeek 3 deadline. Just talk to me. Talk to us about your thoughts on Tony.
Yep. Okay. Initially, I have no idea why. When I decided to replace, when I decided to bring Kane in, immediately I look at Ings. I want to replace Ings. It's not that he isn't a great player, but if you look at his stats, yes, he returned both games, 1 goal each in 2 game weeks, but he only had 3 shots on target, and one of them is a penalty. Yes, he's clinical. The second goal was insane. The overhead kick, but he probably wouldn't do overhead kicks week in week out. So
Not all the time.
yeah, so I don't know. Against Brentford looks pretty solid for the first 2 game weeks. They kept both clean sheets. Raya did well, great shot stopper. So it's all about Ings versus Raya. And if I look at Ings' stats, I would probably prefer to drop him for Kane instead of Tony. I could drop Tony for Kane. My budget allows it, but I don't know. If looking at Tony, he's that sort of player where if he don't get much service from the rest of the team, he creates his own chances, which we see against Palace last week. He did try. He did have 3 to 4 shots, if I'm not mistaken, and against Villa was really shaky first 2 game weeks in terms of defense. Yes, they won last week pretty convincingly, but I don't know. Martinez looks different this season so far. Pretty clumsy, if you ask me. So will Tony and Mwembo? I mean, what's his name again? Mwembo. Yeah. Capitalize on that. I think it's definitely something we can see.
You also mentioned that Ings' stats don't look very sustainable, right?
Yeah, I mean, after 2 game weeks so far.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Which is why I dropped Ings instead of Tony.
Yeah, and the fixtures, they don't look very good subsequent to GameWeek 3. So I think it just makes sense. He was a transfer waiting to happen.
Yep. So let's see Ings's fixture. Yeah, if you look at after Brentford, they're playing against Chelsea. Everton. I don't know why Everton is a red. I don't think Everton is a red. And then after that, you have United, and you have Spurs. So yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good long term. That does make sense. Yeah, it does.
Yep. So that's my team at the moment.
I mean, it's a very good looking team. You've gave us the rationale for bringing in Kane and Rafinha. I personally have thought of Rafinha because after his goal against Everton, I knew he was back, and of course, 6.5, he is a steal. I do want to ask you.
Yeah,
sorry.
Rafinha actually takes 6 shots against Everton. 6 shots.
Everton?
Yeah, two shot on target, 2 blocked, 2 off target. 6 shots from Rafinha, and one of them is a goal. So that's pretty crazy against Everton. And Leeds being so good in counter attack, like Bamford will be so will be high up, rushing for the ball, and probably Rafinha will be joining him against an open Burnley side. oh, I don't know what's going to happen.
That's true. That's totally true. Let me ask you this, because I think a lot of people will be asking this, including myself. Barnes
Yep.
owners right now, you mentioned earlier that most of us are keeping Barnes just because of that Norwich match. Because in the last 2 game weeks, he hasn't shown anything of true prominence. What is your thought process after the Norwich game? Let's say, provided Barnes doesn't do well, let's say he blanks yet again. What are your thoughts in that price bracket?
Okay. I think, this season we are blessed with so many options.
Yeah.
Initially, we thought five midfield is the way to go with so many budget gems, like Rafinha, Sa, Ben Rama, Traore, and so many others between the 6 to 7 or 7.5 bracket.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Lukaku and Ronaldo, decided to drop ship into the Premier League and mess up with things again. So suddenly, out of nowhere, people say, "Oh, three forwards is the way to go now." So if you ask me, if you look at my bench, I still have Smith Rowe, which basically I absorbed those price drops because basically I brought him in just because of his his game week 4.
Look at that run. Look
Yeah, look
at
at that
that
run.
run.
Norwich, Burnley, Spurs is a bit of minefield if you ask me. It's a North London
Yeah.
derby. Things can go either way. Maybe Brighton will probably struggle a bit, but then after that, you have other clubs, other fixtures. So and 5.5. I mean, he's 5.4 now. Worth keeping. So most probably, personally, I would probably drop Barnes to the bench for Smith Rowe. But if you ask me who to replace with Barnes in that price bracket, if you don't have Rafinha already, definitely Rafinha is one. Then after that, you have Traore. So let's look at Traore's.
He's playing a more advanced position this season. And I
Really
think if you guys
advanced.
watched the Leicester game, he had like 3 big chances. He just could not finish. Could not finish the dinner.
He is probably currently the most underperforming player, meaning
Yeah.
he has 0 goals, but he has the highest XG. He had quite a few big chances, and he's playing really forward this season, almost on par with Jimenez, or not even higher at times. And I think Wolves this season, if you look so far at their games, they are really attacking. They had so
Yeah.
many shots. There are so many shots against Spurs. I think 24 shots, if I'm not mistaken. That's really high.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that. 24
Really high.
is good.
20 plus at least. And then after that, in their midweek game, they also had about 20 overshots against
Jeez.
against who? Against some other, poor team.
Yeah.
So under this new manager, I can see them being really attacking. And Traore is definitely one of the standout options at 6.0. He's practically playing as a striker alongside Jimenez. And Jimenez is another player that we can look at as well because he also just had a price drop. He's now 7.4. If you look at the game against Spurs, he actually had a good chance to score with a header, but I think the goals will come soon. If
I
not,
had that feeling too.
yeah, maybe against United, I don't know. But
Yeah.
if not United, at least after game week 4, the goals will come. And at 6.0, Traore,
Yeah.
only 1.2% owned.
But
6.0.
can I ask you, at 6.0, we've talked about Ben Rama, but how about Ismail Assar as a 6.0 prospect? Because Traore, Sar, both very good. They're both at 6.0, but what are your thoughts between those two?
Okay, let's just
Let's look at his
filter.
fixtures, maybe.
Let's just filter who are the 6.0s we can look at. You have Pascal Gross, which is actually ticking along nicely. He,
Right.
with players like Duffy and Dunk being monsters in headers for set pieces, Pascal Gross actually returned twice already this season. Then you have players like Gray, Everton's Demarai Gray. He played really well against last week against Leicester. No, Leeds. Sorry, he's practically playing just behind the strikers, just behind Vardy. No, Vardy. Just behind
DCL?
DCL.
Charleston?
Yeah, and Richarlison playing sort of like a shadow or shadow striker, and then he has free reign to move around, and only 5.5 million. If his spot is nailed, definitely a good prospect. Ismaila Sarr, I think if you want to own an attacker from Watford, this is probably the player that you should consider. Fixtures wise, after game week 4 looks pretty decent. Wolves play against Norwich and then Newcastle and Leeds. So he is another good prospect at 6.0 and only 4.8% owned. I would also consider him as a Barnes replacement. Other than that, some might say Souček, but in the West Ham team, Benrahma should be the one to go for at this price point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also look at Bergwijn. Bergwijn did really well against Wolves. His XA, he did create a big chance, but he is more of a creator, playing like a creator role. And who knows, once Kane comes into the team, where or will even Bergwijn will even play, or will he take turns to play with Moira? That remains to be seen. So if you ask me, I would recommend at this 6.0 or 6.5 at least, Rafinha, Sarr, Traore, with a honorable mention of Pascal Gross and Gray, even Decore. Sorry, I missed out Decore. Decore, he is playing like how he did in Watford again, being creative in the hole and also take shots here and there. So Decore and Gray, these two are exciting players that we can look out for. But Decore is definitely currently more, gives you a feeling that he's more nailed than Gray. So Decore is another person another player that we can consider as well as a Barnes replacement.
I agree. Yeah. All those options are really like Demarai Gray is my personal guilty favorite because I don't know if I'll get him in anytime soon, but I really like the look of Demarai Gray as well.
Yeah, because if you look at Barnes, he's now 6.9 million. You have players like Decore and Gray, which are 5.5. Or who knows, you might want to go for Smith Rowe for game week 4 onwards. These are the players that you can release so much funds for other parts of your team.
Yeah, honestly, very good enablers. Speaking of Smith Rowe, I think just an honorable mention, FPL Swang is here with us, one of our pundits on the show, and he said it should be all red for Arsenal's fixtures. FPL Swang is a Chelsea fan. I'm an Arsenal fan, and he likes to take the mick out of Arsenal every now and then. So it's good to see him here. It's good that he's still roasting Arsenal, as he should be, considering our poor performance the last 2 game weeks. So it's good that he's here. But no, Smith Rowe is a very good pick, considering the long-term value that he provides. With Odegaard back, it's still Arsenal. We don't know how they'll play, but my hope is that Odegaard will bring something new for the Arsenal attack. They did win. They thrashed West Brom. It is West Brom, but it was good to see the attacking flair come back on that Arsenal team.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about upcoming up to game week 4 and 5-ish. I know we've talked a little bit about it, how some of the players, the teams, they got together and they kind of petitioned like, hey, we want to protect our players. We don't want them to go on international break.
Mm-hmm.
Give a bit of insight, your insight on the upcoming game weeks. There's a lot going on. Transfer window is finalizing, so there's a lot of new players that are about to come in. What are your maybe tips, your insight on navigating the next couple of game weeks? Just your perspective. What do you think?
That's a really good question. Personally, I don't know. I'm not a player. I'm not a manager that looks so far. Mostly, I look at game week 4. I think game week 4, if you look at, I think United has really good fixtures against Newcastle. With Ronaldo being in, I think that is a player. That is a fixture we can target. Chelsea versus Villa. I think that's also another exciting game that we can look out for. Chelsea, currently they are doing really well. In not just in their performance, but also in their recruitment. Definitely some. I think probably one point in the season, sooner rather than later, we will probably jump on at least one or two Chelsea players.
Especially game week 7 when the fixtures turn.
Yeah, exactly. But I think Chelsea being so strong at the moment, they are probably top of the food chain, definitely.
Yeah.
So any team they are playing against, they have chances to return in terms of FPL. So game week 4, I think these are the two teams that two fixtures that we can target. Everton versus Burnley, I think this is also another fixture we can target. Really depends on DCL, whether he is fit or not. Not sure whether that toe injury is just sort of like a hint that he can't join the England squad. Who knows? If DCL doesn't go with the squad, the England squad, he suddenly becomes a good option for game week 4. But I think game week 4 is quite far away because of the international break. So definitely remains to be seen what should be done. But I think these are the few fixtures we can target. And then if you look at game week 5, I think Man City against Southampton is on the menu again. Man City players might be on our menu once again. But the problem is, the main problem still arises. Who's going to play?
Pep Roulette.
Pep Roulette, I don't think is something that it will end because of the depth of that squad, So I don't know. Currently, to be honest, City assets doesn't really appeal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there are just so many budget or just so many other, I wouldn't say better options, but I would say options that can do as well as City players.
And are more secure.
Yeah, definitely. So City assets are currently not in my mind right now, but definitely one point of the season we would all have to consider players like KDB again. I don't know, who knows? Maybe even Jesus, since he plays so well on the right wing. But to be honest, I would really love to see Torres being nailed. Because especially now that they can't bring in a striker, I would really love to see Torres get more game time, because at 7 million, playing it out of position, it's
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a gift.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one Zuhelmi mentioned it, said it correctly in the comments. I'm also getting sick of Pep Roulette. So yeah, I mean, we have the COVID, we have the international breaks, we have weird news, coming in and out. Even having Pep Roulette, will really, really amplifies that uncertainty.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And yeah, I guess Yeah, I guess we're kind of lucky that a lot of the players that we own, especially from the template, they're probably not going to be affected as much from the international break now that they're probably not going to go play. Yeah, if you go back to your team, if you go back to your
Yep.
team that's coming in for game week 3.
Oh yeah, I just want to add this. If you look at the team, I personally I wouldn't plan transfers more than two game weeks. I think yes, we should look at the next game week, but beyond that, you know, a bit pointless if you ask me. Most of the time, based on my experience, I do plan transfers last time, but then almost more than 80% of the time, I don't follow through because of some weird player hits form or some injury happened and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably my tip.
As we bring up Joe's team, it is currently 5:47 here in Malaysia PM. So hence the deadline is in a couple of minutes, 13 minutes. And probably best suggestion is you get your teams locked in a little bit earlier because everyone's trying to get on. There could be a lot of traffic to the website. So make sure you get your teams locked in. Take a look at Joe's team. He's got a very good looking team. So real quick, what do you think? Who do you think will be the big hitters? What do you expect from this team going into this game? We obviously wish for the best, but realistically, what are you expecting from these players that you've chosen?
I expect the players that I've just brought in to do well. That's for sure.
Right, Kane.
I mean, I do have Bachman, which I sort of regret. I sort of brought him in since gaming one due to some gut feel, but I can see Watford improving some point in the season, but I don't think it will be game week 3. I would think Kane, or at least I hope Kane to have a free time, so which is why I captain him. I think Rafinha probably will do pretty well as well. Other than that, I think Antonio will still return against Palace. Of course, I hope Barnes at least
finally does something.
One return is all I ask for. I don't ask for much, but Barnes one.
Just one. I'm also a faithful Barnes owner from game week 1. I thought he would do quite well against Wolves. And
no, let me just correct this. One positive return, not negative. One
That's true. That is true. It could go the other way as well. Oh.
Yeah, Swang also mentioned Joe just brought a striker to captain against his goalkeeper. No brainer. I don't know what I'm doing, but I just can't resist. I just can't resist the prospect of bringing in Kane at such a low ownership percent.
He's playing at home, and back the attacker, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think he has a mission to win the owners, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. I also have a bad feeling that Spurs are going to have a little bit of a field day against Watford at home. I currently lack Spurs assets, so when that game happens, I will be watching behind the couch. But I also wish the best for you because I think it's a very good, brave move for you to go for Kane. I know a lot of people have done the Salah to Son 1 game week change. And I mean, it's a pretty okay move. It's definitely got its risk, but if Son does well, I can't talk anymore, right? A lot of us can't talk anymore. So, it's a good-looking team. We're gonna look. There's not really a Q&A, but just an honorable mentions. We got nice glasses from Edra Tassar. He likes your glasses, so
yeah, I like it too.
We got regular Vincent. He's FPL Rudd on Twitter. He says, "Hey Nick, you legends, you legends. Always great to have you on, Vincent." Of course, we got Swang backing the affectionate ship name of Ben Tonio. We are eating good, guys. Those of us that own Ben Rama and Antonio since game week 1, we are eating very good. We got Marcus in as well. Marcus with his team up here. He's got a good-looking team. He's got Sanchez, Dine, Shaw. Dine is a bit of a disappointing one, but he's got Trent at least, Salah, Fernandez, Benrahma, Rafinha, Antonio, Ings, Tony. Yeah, very template stuff. And he brought in Benrahma, so wish you the best for that. Hello to Muhammad Hazik. It's good to see you here. And as well as Choni Dorji. Hello there. Uh,
I think we have a question from Zafri Zaharuddin. I think
yes, you're right.
maybe we can answer this. If you ask me, I will keep Grealish. I think Grealish should be nailed, should be fairly nailed in the Pep team. Well,
They paid a lot for him, so I would hope so.
yeah, and City is playing against Arsenal. Based on past, I'm sorry, Nick, but based on past histories, they love playing against Arsenal.
Oh, they do. They really do.
And especially during the time where Aguero is around. Oh my gosh, captaincy material.
Yeah. I mean, they're both
Hazik-
very good options, Rafinha and Grealish. But if you have Grealish already,
Yeah, because he says take a hit. I wouldn't do that.
right? Oh, so the hitman saying don't take a hit. That's kind of weird. Weird
I
to
mean,
hear
no.
from you.
Okay, my
I'm kidding.
advice for taking a hit is that it should be a player that you can see, having good fixtures, at least 4 fixtures where they can return and justify that hit.
Yes.
Or if it's a double game week, go for it.
Right. Me too. I think the same. So yeah, Zafri, Joe has said if you still have Grealish, I mean, maybe not worth taking the hit. You can still keep him for Arsenal. So yeah, it's great stuff there. We got Muhammad Hazik, who has asked if Barnes is confirmed to start. He doesn't know who to bench between Harrison,
Wow.
Tony, or Barnes.
This is a bit of a tough one.
It's a bit of a tough one. I
If
agree.
you ask me, my advice is you don't bench Barnes because this is probably the only game week you want him to play.
Yeah.
So between Harrison and Tony, toss a coin.
Yeah. I think I would. Oh wait. Tony plays. Who do Tony play again? Villa, right?
Villa. Yeah.
Villa. Oh. Yeah, that is the tough one. I think you just got to go with. You just got to go with whoever you want. I would probably back Harrison for some reason.
Maybe, yeah, because
The home
yeah.
advantage.
No, I think they're playing away against Burnley, but
Oh, sorry.
Burnley is, like I said, when Burnley attacks, they're really exposed to counter attack, and Harrison is also another player which benefits from counter attack, especially on the left side, because somehow because their attack being so right-sided, Harrison sometimes gets ignored, and he can pop into really good positions and pull the trigger. So usually Harrison is the one scoring the goals, and Rafinha is the one creating.
I agree as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
maybe probably bench Tony if you ask me.
I agree as well. Well, bench Tony. You want to keep Barnes just for the Norwich match, and if he doesn't do anything, well, he may have to go. All right, we got Vincent. Should I use my remaining free transfer to upgrade Tsimikas to Kufal and start him, or simply play safe boring by rolling the free transfer to have 2 FTs for international break? Start Ailing this week.
I would roll. I think Ailing against Burnley isn't a bad shot.
I agree. So says start Ailing, roll so that you have the safety net of 2 free transfers for the international break, Vincent.
Or if you want to bring in Ronaldo.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
2 FTs. You can bring Ronaldo in with 2 FTs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Vincent wrote as well, who's barking? I just want to apologize earlier. My dog got excited and started barking because I think the neighbor dog started barking too. So I apologize. Just an honorable mention because in true FPL expectations fashion, it's between Sweng and Vincent. They love to bicker over Lee Mason and Lewis Dunk. So yeah, there is your weekly comment there. And there's a lot happening in the comments, guys. But yeah, I mean, just an honorable mention earlier. Joe did mention and point out Vincent's quote that he said Harvey Barnes did not travel to King Power Stadium. Very distressing comment until you realize that they're playing away. So they're actually traveling to Carroll Road instead of the King Power Stadium. So nice one, Vincent. You are very, very funny. So Let's see what else is there. What else is there? Do you see anything so catches your eye? FPL Swing likes the usage of the top of the food chain analogy, and I like it too because it's a bit of a tasty analogy if you do say so myself.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
Vincent.
mean,
Sorry.
sorry, keep going. So sorry.
Yeah, I think Vincent in the last comment said Lewis Dunk is due a 15-pointer this week, surely. Thoughts? I don't know. I think Brighton, being the way they play, they really focus on set pieces, and as I mentioned
Yeah,
just now, Dunk, you know, players like Webster, Dunk, Duffy, Dan Burn, they are huge players and great headers of the ball. I heard this in I think the FPL Bangers podcast. I think when they're discussing about Duffy, it's basically I think Dunk and Webster, if I'm not mistaken, um, tries to make space for Duffy to come in during set pieces or during corners. I think I thought that was pretty that was a good um, eye test report. But
yeah,
yeah, Dunk could easily return as well. You
yeah,
know,
definitely.
yeah, I think Brighton, they are really strong in set pieces because
Yeah.
of all these great headers of the ball. So yeah, it could happen. Just I mean, they have a solid defensive stats, and they have you know great headers of the ball. Not surprising if Dunk is the next defender to return 15 points.
Yeah, and I agree. Time will tell, Vincent. So we'll see if you manage to speak it into existence. The Lewis Dunk 15-point haul. We have a couple of minutes left. Remember, please save your FPL teams before the deadline. It's gonna a couple of minutes. Last thing, probably the last thing we'll be able to answer today. Hadi Raihan. Sorry if I butchered your name. Fernando. Oh my goodness, it's
Fernandez.
been a long stream. Fernandez or Antonio for captain. I think this is a big debate. This is
Oh,
provided you don't have Kane. So who would you go for if you had to pick?
wow, this is a tough one.
It's a tough
Uh,
one.
yeah, if I see managers saying Fernandez captain one last ride before Ronaldo plays. I put, I don't know. Personally, I would go Antonio, but if I'm going to sell Fernandez next game week to bring in Ronaldo, I'll probably go for Fernandez.
That's fair enough. And if it helps Hadi, I have Antonio captain right now. I just wanted to have a bit of fun this week because I didn't really make any exciting moves. So I thought, why not put the captaincy on Antonio? And hopefully it doesn't go wrong like the last time we tried the captain Antonio. So yes, the deadline is in a minute. Please save your teams. So it's been a pleasure to look at your team. Do you have, this is your section right now, anything you want to say to the FPL managers out there prior to the deadline?
I don't know. This all the best and good luck.
Yeah, and that's the wise words from the expert, Joe FPL himself. It's been an absolute pleasure. So please make sure you check out his Twitter, which is right here, Joe FPL on Twitter. It's after every match, right? That you do a very cool and very elaborate. Well, it's actually not really elaborate. It's quite concise. So very
Yeah.
concise and detailed eye test threads
Mhm.
per match. So
Yep.
definitely do look out for that. I really enjoy watching them. What are your thoughts on those, Joe? Just to plug out your eye test threads.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, but I'm going to
Yeah,
persevere. I'm going to persevere to continue doing it. If you're on Twitter, you can check it out.
yeah. I really enjoy reading them. They're a very good, concise way, just in case you miss the actual matches. And yeah, he does a
Mhm.
very good job. And FPL Swang, just out. Oh my bad. FPL Swang says mention our space. FPL expectations do a Twitter space. If you're on Twitter at all, do be sure to be on the lookout for that. I think it's every Tuesday, but do follow FPL expectations on Twitter. That's at FPL expectations. You can kind of see it up there for the proper spelling, and you can stay up to date with whenever we do anything like a space or a Twitter takeover or a stream like this. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you everyone for attending. yes, the deadline has passed. So whatever happens will happen. FPL Toe, it's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for your time. As always, check out FPL Expectations on Twitter. It's up there. Check me out as well over here, FPL Nitro. And of course, Toe, who I've had an absolute pleasure to talk with today. May all of your arrows be green, and we will see you very shortly. All the best. Take care.